Hello and welcome to Super Northwest. Today we've come over to Kingsway Park in Davyhulme. Looks like an ordinary park, any other park, but go back 80 years ago, it was a very different place. Now there used to be a large brook running through here, down onto the Manchester Ship Canal. It was culverted a few years back, that's why the land is still very soggy. This is what's left of the old brook today. A slow flowing brook used to pass through the park. It was around 3 foot deep and 10 foot wide, before being culverted in 1965. Now the stream was prone to pollution from agriculture and industry. Polio, still a health concern in the 1950s and 60s, had instilled a fear of dirty water amongst the local community. As rivers and streams were culverted during the 20th century, wildlife and the local community suffered as the brook was quite often a focal point for social gathering. Sadly now the once picturesque stream runs into the drain at the other side of the bridge on Barton Road in Davyhulme. But there is some good news though. There is talk of them opening these culverts up. Hopefully this one will be on the list. Now before we get to the gun emplacement, there was a prisoner of war camp here. At first it housed Italian prisoners. Then after the events of D-Day, so many German prisoners were taken and Churchill just didn't know what to do with them, as it was getting more and more risky to ship them across the Atlantic to America. So a lot of the camps were expanded across Britain and Kingsway Park was on the list. After the war, it was used for Eastern Europeans who had been displaced during the conflict. Now, not only going back 80 years ago was there a prisoner of war camp on here, there was an anti-aircraft gun emplacement, and all that's left now is a memorial. Let's go and take a look. Now I'm just wondering if this used to be the remains of the camp or the gun emplacement. A lot of large boulders and rocks. If anyone knows anything, please leave a note in the comments below. So we're just making our way over now. Seems to have been built on high ground. Now this seems to be one of the many anti-aircraft gun sites around the area, as this map shows, all surrounding Trafford Park and the important factories that were helping the war effort. Now there's quite a bit of information on the memorial, so let's go and have a look at it. Metropolitan Vickers were involved in constructing parts for the Lancaster bomber, creating searchlights, radar, military vehicles and equipment key to the war effort. When the air raid siren sounded, we would go into the shelter. While we were in there, during an air raid, we would hear the guns firing from the camp and also bombs landing. We had to keep smiling through. I love that. Gun emplacements housing 4 3.7-inch heavy anti-aircraft guns were built in an arc, and this arc centred on a 5th emplacement with blast walls which housed the Predictor and its crew. Well, what is a Predictor, you may be wondering? It was passed information by a telescopic rangefinder that would clock the height and speed of the enemy bombers. It would let the gun crews know how far in front of the aircraft they would have to fire in order for the shells to explode and knock the aircraft off course. Quite often though, the enemy bombers would change course during their bombing run every 20 to 30 seconds, causing the fired flak shells to miss the target. Many of the predictor rangefinders were manned by girls from the ATS auxiliary units, and they were known as the ACAC girls. The memorial has 4 planted stones. Each one has engraved on it the feeling around the time of the air raids: hope, courage, spirit and resilience.
Now, this memorial was commissioned by the local council along with local organisations. It was designed by Karen Allerton. Now, one Christmas early in the war, this site was heavily bombed, and the boys that manned the gun, they just lost everything. Now, it was close to Christmas, so they were sent over to the local residents at Lostock Road to get crockery, cutlery and food just so they could have a Christmas dinner. Now, the gun emplacement was set up to protect Trafford Park and the industry, but one most important place there, which was Metropolitan Vickers. Now, they used to make parts for the Lancaster bomber. Now, it was in the interests of the Luftwaffe to fly over, drop the bombs and level this place. Now, according to local residents at the time, Lostock Road was quite often lit up by German incendiary bombs.
You can also see in the background as well Trafford Park, so you can see exactly what this place was trying to protect. I've come back over on a slightly better day, so we'll try and get some aerial shots if we can, to see what sort of high ground it was built on. Let's go and take a look.